Well, what's the crack, everybody? How you getting on? You're all very welcome to episode 176 for Friday, the 26th of February 2021. Or if you're a Patreon, you would have gotten this on Wednesday night, along with the video. I'm just looking here with a fucking sigh of relief. I just did the intro right there. I just did the intro, like, literally did this fucking 45 seconds ago and realised the wrong mic was connected. Literally a mic that's sitting over on the fucking desk here beside me. Oh, what a ball bag pusher. Look at it. We'll get there again. This is the beauty of it all, isn't it? I have a pot of taste stewing below, so I better make this quick enough. How are you getting on? Thank you very much to all the patrons as per usual. Like I said, you would have gotten the video of this episode exclusive only to Patreons, and you would have gotten the video from Tuesday night. Well, Tuesday night I did a Ramble Pod. Yes, I was actually on time to a degree. I got it out on Tuesday night, and you got the video with those added little bits and all the rest of it. Are you all right, dog? Well, dog, good girl. How are you? Oh, jeez, you're fucking filthy. You're fucking filthy. The dog has made a reappearance, which she will be making more of, because now I have a nice setup up here. I have a nice mini little couch, dog-sized couch, haven't I? Come on. Yeah, I know. Yeah. She'll be making appearances, obviously, on the video. She's very distracted, there's no doubt. But sure, look, who doesn't like looking at a dog? She'll be making them on the Ramble Pods going forward. So, I hadn't been doing it up until now because it was an awful big fucking job and a big dose to be doing it. But now I've got myself more or less set up with a fucking fine bit of gear, so the stress levels are not there anymore. And I'm getting better at actually editing this shit. So, lads, you're helping me along here. That's what you're doing. You're helping me along. Oh my God. And the patrons, you're paying for it. Well, mostly you're paying for it. But you know what? It's the benefit of everybody, but realistically it's the patrons. You're fucking paying for it. And shout out to the legends that up their patronage for no reason other than to be sound. It's a $3 buy-in once a month if you're into the show. You know what I mean? You want the extra footage. You get sometimes a fair bit of extra chat too, because sometimes I leave in all the crack waffle. Sometimes you want to leave it a bit punchy for just the audio because that's all people have to go on, so it needs to be a bit fucking tighter. But when it comes to the videos, there's always going to be a bit more fucking... And you got the early release of the Tom and Jerry Show. There you go. So, if anybody's going, what the fuck is the Tom and Jerry Show? That is a show that myself and Jerry McBride of Waterford Whispers fame, if you don't know who Jerry McBride is, go back to the episode where we explain Hit the Diff. Go back, you'll get a vibe. Just find the Tom and Jerry Show. Jerry with a G. Very, very, there's 20 odd episodes up there. We had a 4-year hiatus and the 4th season is back with a fucking bang. Landed on Monday and another one out again on Monday. But for Patreons, it'll be out Sunday night. So ad-free Sunday night, it'll be out to you. There you go. Have a gander at that. If you're new to this, hit subscribe. As you can tell, there's fucking rakes. There's 176 episodes of this. A rake of videos up on the Patreon if you want to become a patron. Even if it's only for 1 month, I'd appreciate a lifetime support. But if it's only for 1 month, there's a rake of videos up there if you prefer to just watch some content that isn't fucking Netflix based or fucking whatever. You know what I mean? Me cursing and swearing in a room with other people cursing and swearing. It's a win-win situation. So that is that. I'm trying to think where the fuck... Yes! I knew it exciting news. If you didn't listen to Ramble Pod or didn't watch Ramble Pod on Wednesday, I have a gig. I have a fucking gig, lads. We're back. I say that like I'm very excited by this. We have learned the errors of ways gone by, and it is with the Roisin Dove in that they're not going to let 1,000 people into the room of the call. They're going to let 50 people in. Fucking vetted sound people, and they will be watched securely, and if there's anybody acting a maggot, you'll be fucked clearly out like a normal comedy club. Now they're selling about 1,000 tickets out the other back end of it where you can just view. It's Friday night, March the 5th. It's myself, Lisa Casey and Jason Byrne. You know Byrne, he's a fucking lunatic, he's great. I'm gonna fucking unleash hell because I have about 150 gigs worth of fucking pent up energy ready to fucking explode. Albeit you won't be in the room with me, but if you were there, I'd probably end up licking all your faces. You know what I mean? And Lisa, she's brilliantly mental. She's just brilliantly weird. I just like her stuff. She does a bit about stuff about her dog talking. You know, that kind of way, and actually does a voice for the dog and everything. It's really weird and brilliant. So, what the fuck else would we be doing? It's Friday night when we're all scratching our fucking balls and proverbial balls and lady balls. So you may as well log on. Go to the Roisin Dove. Get a fucking ticket for yourself. I'd say the main room has sold out, I would imagine. Jesus Christ, the dog just fucking... What did you spot? Jesus Christ, nearly give me a fucking stroke. Relax, will you? Could I want to put on the kettle, will you? Like, good dog. Yeah, decent effort. Decent effort. She just fucking rolled over. Oh, fucking hell. Anyway, if you're new, there's 176 other episodes of this and 113 episodes of the... Jesus Christ. 130... That is a fucking lot of episodes. We're coming up on 300 episodes in total. Yeah? There you go. Go to the Instagram page of Buckshot. That's the handiest place to go. If you're going, Jesus, I'd be fucking scrolling forever. Go to the Instagram page. See the number of the face of the person you like. Whether it's Hit the Fucking Diff one with Jerry McBride, or like today's fucking guest, who was advised to me by the brilliant Bernard Jackman, Sound Skin. He said like this, he goes, it's like this, Tom. After he knew the scale, he knew the crack, he was like, look, you're not a fucking rugby journalist. You know, you just want to have the crack. Bit of a backstory with people and have a bit of a mess around. Who you need to be talking to. Because he knows the bands. He knows the fucking patter. You need to be talking to one, if not two, of the Fogarty brothers. He says, I only have John's. Now, John is a busy man. He is the Ireland scrum coach. So he's fairly fucking busy at the minute. So, and it had gone to the back of my head, and then all of a sudden, I was listening to Potholes and Penguins, which I would, Patreon, one of the Patreons. That was the thing, I was just thinking at the time, today, I was going, what does being a Patreon to these, yeah, it really does. You do get, you should fucking pay for something you really fucking like. You know, that kind of, you should, I think. Look, you don't fucking have to. And if you don't have to, then it often doesn't in people's mind. But in my head, I was going, I do get a benefit from this. And I listened, and Dennis was on with the boys from Potholes and Penguins, which is a rugby related but savage crack podcast with former Munster player Barry Murphy and former Ulster player Andrew Trimble. And they're both fucking brilliantly weird as well. And they had the Dennis on, and I went, holy shit. And oh my sweet suffering Jesus. I wasn't 20 seconds into listening to this guy, and he absolutely obliterated the lads for comedy. I mean, comedy, like crafted comedy, stuff that would take you 4 or 5 years to really get good at on stage, like properly hitting the points and telling a story. No fluff, no filler, interjecting with fucking really decent impressions. The rule of 3 came up once, which is like, you got to give the rule of 3 and land it on the 3rd. You can't go 4 unless it's incredible. You can't go 5. You know, if you're given an example of something, never go more than 3. The humour is dead on the 4th one. It lands on the 3rd one. It's too fresh on the 2nd, and you're just talking if on the 1st. These are crafted things. And he fucking had that. And I went, oh my God, I have to fucking talk to this man. Bernard Jackman was right. And sure, I knew him Welsh. We know a load of the same people. He's from only up the road here in Cash. Yeah. Fucking played for Munster. Played for Agen and a couple of more French clubs, which we talked briefly about. But really, kind of rugby was secondary to the whole chat. We just had, oh my fucking God, did I laugh hard. Did I fucking laugh hard. It was a windy night too, so the internet was there. I mean, it was grand. It's grand. You know, I don't think we lost anything when I listened back to the edit, but it was, fuck me, was it funny. This was a really, really good one. So, you will enjoy. Go back, if you have to listen to any of the others and all the rest of it, go back, have a fucking listen. They're all there up on Instagram. It's the handiest place to find me, Buckshot Podcast, you know, or Tom Mahoney Comedy. Go have a gander. Find the Tom and Jerry Show too. You'll be glad you did. March 5th, Roisin Dove. The fuck else are we going to be doing? Now, to introduce today's guest correctly, like I said, I had a fucking whale of a time. This is one of them ones that could have gone way longer, but I have a funny feeling we'll be locking horns again on the podcast world. So, For now, sit back and enjoy the fucking brilliant Denis Fogarty. Well, Denis Fogarty, what's the crack? Thanks a million. Thanks a million. I know people are going, we fucking nothing else to be doing, but sound.
Oh, Jesus, there's fucking... I love it. Anything for a fellow tip man, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
That's now. It's like what you just said there. Anything at all now. I'm dying to talk to anybody. I'm dying to talk to anybody. So it's... Jesus, when you asked, I couldn't get on quick enough.
To be fair, you were pretty sound about it. Most fellas are like, and they've nothing on. That's the thing. Like, to be fair, you were honest. You had whatever.
You know what I mean? I can't know, Tom. No, not today. No, like this week I'm tied up. Bollocks, you're not tied up. I couldn't say no to it. Like so. I know it was nice. I don't mind. I actually enjoy these kind of things as well. You know what I mean? These kind of the chats and stuff. So it's good now more than ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just all you want now is the danger of it is a couple of times I cracked open a few beers with lads, and before we know it, it's a 4-hour podcast and we're locked drunk. Like,
not a bad idea.
I wasn't actually in talk with an Irish beer company who were on about would you do it for. I was like, it didn't transpire, but I was told, and we tested one, myself and another fellow, he's a comedian, Australian fellow, Damo Clark, and it ended up a 3-hour, nearly 4-hour podcast. But the beer was about 9%. Oh. We were locked.
Yeah, Jesus.
Like the last hour and a half, you couldn't put it out. It was only just repeating ourselves, and you realise what shit you actually talk.
And you're probably like, fuck it, that was fair funny now. That was unreal now, that podcast.
I thought it was going to make me. I said, this is the podcast now. This is it. Then I listened back and went, oh, for fuck's sake.
But there's nothing fucking like it, and I'll be here in a chat. Fucking hell. If it wasn't a Monday now.
Well, this is it. I say that. What the fuck am I talking about? Every day is Saturday night for me. Are you joking? But because I knew you were going to be good crack, because I'd heard you'd never shy away from the camera back in the day, especially when you were with Munster. Like like other fellas would be looking down at their boots and stuff. Like you always had go on, ask me kind of an attitude. Like
you got me in trouble a few times, but I did. To be fair, I enjoyed the crack. Jesus Christ, it kept me kind of sane through it all. You know what I mean? Throughout the career and stuff. If I didn't have the crack, I was going to go insane. You know, and I was always tended to be like that anyway. You know what I mean? I just you can't take everything so seriously. And it was, if I didn't have the crack, like I just said there, I crack up. You know what I mean? So
where did that come from? Do you reckon? Because like lads are schooled. I remember I had Brendan Maher on the podcast before, and he was saying he was schooled basically on what to fucking say. And he says there's times he goes where you want to go, we played like shit. But you can't. You have to say things like, oh, we're building in a nice direction now. And
yeah, no, it's so true. A lot of it is like that. You're there kind of going, you're up and say this. They might ask you this. You might have to say that, say this. And then you're there kind of going, what the fuck? And I think that's the glory of something like, with podcasts and something. I suppose when you're out of it.
Yeah.
You still even see the lads that are, when they're going on to do media stuff and you're just like, you're there kind of going, this is all fucking rehearsed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what you said, like we were fucking useless. We weren't at the races. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so, no, yeah, that's why it was, I suppose, so, but we were very lucky back then as well. The place was full of giddiness,
Yeah, right, yeah.
And so you could bounce off everyone, and everyone got it, you know what I mean? But there was a serious side to it too, we kind of, you knew when you could have the crack and you knew then when to, be serious.
Yeah. Because I put it to because I've been putting this to Tipperary people because I'm making a fucking dossier on this, especially people that have been in the limelight. But I said it I goes, is it fair to say that Tip fellas are fucking mad? And he went, at first he goes, I heard that when I went to Munster first. He said, and I heard that. And I said, I thought they were being fucking racist. And then I said, Dennis, we're not a race. Anyway, but he goes, but you know what I mean? No, like, well, and then I realised, oh yeah, there is a fucking want in a lot of us. Like, there's.
Oh, fuck it, it's so true. I think it's important to be a bit mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like even with the crack and but not alone the crack, but even in fucking when you're playing rugby, like you have to be a bit fucking mad, like you know what I mean?
It
like,
doesn't make any sense wanting to play. Like I played for Clanwilliam, and I played a little bit for Con until fucking I realised that I wasn't going to fit in with a load of Prez lads. Not some scumbag coming from Tip Town. Well, boys, pass me the ball. We will, and our fuck pass you the ball. All right, I'll just tip out to Christian, so will I?
No, but it's so true. There is, but I think it's like I said there. I think it's vital to be a bit fucking just cracked every now and again, because if you're not, you're just too fucking serious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially in the game, I think I always think that that you have to be slightly bit crazy because you go to these places where you're. Whether at training or at a game, you've got to go to a dark place and fucking, to try and get stuff over the line, and even during the week of training and stuff, you're going to these places where you need to be a bit fucking mad to
that's it. Like, it physically doesn't make natural sense. Like, if you said, do you want to hurt yourself? Like, really fucking, and actually allow massive humans to fucking hurt you. You go, no, you're grand. Yeah. You're grand.
It's so, because there was times where I remember at times, and even not alone when I was in Munster, but even when I went over to France and stuff, you see a fella and he could be running at you. And it's like, you nearly run at him because you're just like, even though I know I'm going to get absolutely fucking steamrolled here, I'm just going to just fucking lump into him and just hope for the best. You know that? And when I look at it back now, you're there kind of going, what the fuck are you doing? What fucking sense was in this? There was like, there was, you could have went, well, you should have tackled lower, go this and all this, but none of that even entered my fucking
head. Yeah.
Kind of going, I might fucking stop this fella, but I probably won't, but I let him know I fucking hit him. And that's it, like, you know what I mean? So I think there is. I'm a firm believer that everyone needs to be a bit fucking cracked. And, in other ways, I was cracked in fucking probably still am, but like, it's, you know what I mean? I kind of brought it into my daily life too as well, where it's you have to have a bit of crack. Some lads are a bit too serious, they're mad in other ways, you know what I mean? In serious ways.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. But I never I wasn't intelligent enough to do that.
Well, I argued a point. That's what I was coming around to. I argued that point, like, that maybe you're a small bit too fucking smart, because not smart and too cute, but I mean too intelligent, because I think only a daft bastard would be able to live with that mundaneness. Either that or somebody unbelievably focused. But either that, unbelievably focused, or thick as shit. That's the only way I could. But how would you sit with the same rhetoric every fucking day? Like, do you know, like. Yeah. And as you said, like when you need to fucking release that animal, like, when you figure, I'll just get this over with, I'm going to hit that fucker as hard as I possibly can. Some Samoan sow weighing about 30 stone. Fuck it. Let's give her socks.
Yeah. Some fucking Egypt from Tip. There's no way you're going to fucking stop it. You know what I mean? Like, it is that. It's just fucking giving it. But I think I suppose that's, if I'm being honest with you, I think that's what fucking probably got where I got to.
Yeah.
In the sport. Genuinely, that bit of fucking madness. Yeah, I was talented, but it was to get to the next level. I thought that's what, what I just spoke to there about either training or matches, of bringing yourself to those fucking fucked up places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To drive you on, that kind of way. That
probably a bit of a sick bastard in you loved it too, a small bit, like that nastiness, like that fucking, like nearly like an S&M moment, going, come on, fucking hurt me, you cunt, come on.
Yeah, it is that. It is that. Kind of fucking, like what you just said there, you hurt, and you're loving the feeling of being hurt.
Yeah.
Even back, I remember back in the, not too long ago, but when the scrums were crouch, touch, bang.
Yeah, the sound of it.
You're like that, oh, bang. You're like, whoa, hey, you're fucking, but then you're like black, and then stars, and you're just there kind of going, oh, and then all the pressure, and you're just like, it's 7-8 seconds, but you come out and go fucking love, like hoping someone ball again, that kind of way. But it's like that. fucking, you probably think now I'm fucking cracked.
No. Listen, I'm a stand-up fucking comedian. Are you joking me?
But people are like, this fuckers. Are you sure the lads weren't on the fucking piss before we started? Well, honestly, I genuinely believe that there's fellas who, get that, who are in the game, who kind of go and they love that feeling, or they love. It's like fellas when you talk to the likes of the out halves and the tens in the international stuff, like craving, hoping they get an opportunity for a drop goal.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember talking to Rog years ago, and he was throwing that drop goal against fucking, I think it was Northampton.
Yes.
All those phases. And he literally was chatting to us, that's unreal. He was there. I was hoping to God I get the opportunity. He said, that's all I was hoping for. It was just this, because he just wanted the fucking chance to do it. And it could have gone either fucking way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it was a fair distance. But it was like, he was craving that. It was all of his thought process was this: give me the fucking chance, give me the chance. And you're just fucking, obviously he's backed it up by his training and stuff and everything, but it's that mentality of fucking, wanting, craving this moment.
Yeah, well, there has to be a darkness in, I think, top level and upper level fellas who want to play in the front row. Physically, you have to be built for it, obviously. Although, in fairness, you moved more like a centre than anything else. Like, you could shift.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I did, and I was a bit. But there was a time. Jesus, I remember when I started, I couldn't move. I literally I was about 116 kilos when it started. Yeah.
And what are you, like 6 or 6'1"?
I'm only 6 foot. Yeah, just 6 foot. So, but as the game changed and the way Munster played kind of changed, and you just couldn't maintain that. So I got back down to like 106, where it's about 10 kilos lighter. But we were all, and that's where I was obviously most comfortable, and that's where I kind of, the speed and the agility kind of came into my game then a bit more, but it kind of played into how we were playing as well. So, but yeah, I wasn't always, that big, because you couldn't maintain that. You know what I mean? You'd be useless out there. So,
but like I was saying, I don't know, as I started at the beginning, I had, like I said, I knew you'd be good crack because I'd heard you'd banter and stuff like that. But I had Bernard Jackman on the podcast one time, and he was saying afterwards, because Bernard got a nice little touch off doing my fucking podcast. It was before the last World Cup, and during the podcast, he was telling me how he studied Japanese, and he's from an agricultural background, and a big dairy/agri company who were setting up for the World Cup over in Japan messaged him and went, I heard you on Tom O'Mahony's podcast, didn't realise you were from an agricultural background and you spoke Japanese, would you? And he sent me, and I goes, I'll take 10%, no fucking bother. Like, but yeah. I don't know if he followed through. But in fairness, he gave me a kind of a heads up. He says, on lads, that'd be good. And he says, you need to talk to either one of the Fogarty brothers. He says, they're fucking cracked and they're right up your road. He says, because even I wasn't quick enough for you. He says, they are right up your fucking road. Yeah, no, there's fucking, yeah. No, I think that's where I get a lot of mine. John will be fairly witty now as well. We won't win in our right way, but Jesus, we're a dangerous combination when we get together and fucking a few drinks. I tell you that much. We're fucking, yeah. The madness really comes to the forefront. But it's yeah, no, the two of us, we do enjoy our crack, and he's good fun now too. We've had a few pints with Bernard Jackman. He's good. He's a good old skin now, to be fair. I was great. Like, he was, and in fairness, he was only just after leaving the Dragons or whatever that time, and he says, I just literally tweeted, didn't know him from that, and I liked the way he spoke. You know what I mean? Because he spoke fairly honestly, like, and he came back, fucking loved it. You know, there was no fluting around. Came on and did it, like, but it was, you were the top of his list. Talk to either one of them. He says they're right up your road. He says if ever I met two fellas that could definitely chat with you. He says that'll be a night now. We have to organise that. Oh, no, the two of us here for a few pints. You get Leamy as well. Oh Jesus, yeah. I had to laugh when Leamy was. He was telling me, I met him or whatever, and he was gone working for Leinster at the time. I says, well, Jesus, and he was wearing the gear, you know. He says, oh, fuck it, stop, will you? He says, I have to stop at Junction 14 and tug out. He says, I can't go home to Cashley. He's wearing this shit. He says, they'll fucking kill me. Oh, fuck it, I know, it's mad. Jesus, I just seeing photos, like, it's just mad to see him in the gear, like. Yeah, I find it, you know what I mean? But, fucking fair play to him.
No, but he's his eyes on a goal, and I admire him for doing that, for the man who hated the province for so many years. Do you know what I mean? To go up, I admire him for what he's doing. You know what I mean, and going about.
Like, that's interesting. What you were saying was actually loving that fucking pain levels. Like, now, what was the difference when you went to France? Was there, because they'll hire any kind of they just find these monsters out of fucking nowhere. Like,
yeah, Jesus, I'll never forget that. My first year was, it was an eye opener. Like, I went from, I suppose, I went from, when I was in Munster, I suppose my last year in Munster didn't get a huge amount of game time and stuff. Then going to my first year in France, where literally had 30 games that year.
Jesus.
Just fucking big men. It was a lot of forward play. It was like you're coming against these number 8s where they're just fucking 130 kegs, 40 kegs, and you're just like, fucking Jesus, am I expected to knock this fella? You know what I mean? For 80 minutes. Because in some cases, when they bring over a foreigner, you're like, you're not coming off.
All right, just we're going to run you till the wheels fall off. Like,
literally, yeah. It's like, we fucking got you over here. Enjoy the sun and the cheese. You know what I mean? You're fucking, every Saturday, mate, you're in debt. So, and it was like that. I think I missed one game. So, and it was that was a tough year, because you're like that. You're dealing with Fijians, Samoans, Tongans, Georgians, fucking, big Frenchies as well. Like, so
yeah.
And it was in the second, like, it was in the Pro D2, like, so the second tier, and it's just big, and it's not as open as the top 14.
Right, yeah.
More direct and forward orientated, and it's fucking hell. It took its toll on the body now, I must say. Not from not being used to it, that kind of way.
Yeah, of course. Jesus, like you said, you've gone from a season of struggling to get games, and then all of a sudden, get in there now.
Get in there now and show us what you're worth. You came from there. Like, you came from Munster. You fucking this and all that. And I'm there, hold on a fucking second now. I've got I'm low mileage, but don't take the fucking piss. You know what I mean? So it's like it's their, they very much do that. It's like they're like, we're fucking paying you. We got you over. Now you're staying, and it's away, home away, and it's because you'd see it even in the top 14, especially back when I first went over, which is, Jesus, it's 8 years ago now. They changed up for away games, so if you were playing a top team in an away game, they'd make wholesale changes.
Right.
But you always see the foreigners staying there.
Right, yeah.
They get their bloody money's worth, that kind of way. Fucking hell. So, well, no, it was. To be fair, I enjoyed it, but it was a hard out slog back then. So, but it was nice.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, because there was. There was no doubt the likes of the other provinces would have been looking at you too. Like, but was there a point where you went, no, I'm fucking off to France?
No, I made my mind up. I was there. That's it. I wasn't. I didn't want to go to anybody else. And I made my mind up kind of halfway through the season. I kind of played around with it the year before, but I was tied in, and then I was talking with Munster, and they wanted me to stay on for another 2 years, and it was just, I suppose, from the injuries as well, and then the lads kind of coming in, like the likes of, Varls and Sherry doing well, and I was at a crossroads to kind of going, look, I suppose more for me mentally, it was a break from it all. I think I was in it for so long. I was there for like 9 years. I think I was there for 9 years. Or no, yeah, 8 or 9 years, I think. So it was quite a long time I was there for, and I was full of kind of ups and downs. And it was getting to a stage where I was there, am I really enjoying this? And then how can I get back to my best?
Yeah.
And I literally went, if I want to get to that stage, I don't want to do it over in fucking England. I'd rather do it out in France.
Yeah.
Where I can actually enjoy my lifestyle, which will help me even more so, you know what I mean, lifestyle wise, and then enjoy my rugby. And I think it went really well for me the first year. I was named in team of the year in that second division thing, and then went on to Agen and stuff, and then obviously injuries come into play again, and it was just kind of took another turn. But I made the decision early though, and in that season I was there. I went to them, and I remember going to them, and it was to Tony McGann at the time, and I just said, look, I can't do this anymore. I said it's more for me. I said it's just I want to stay, and I remember when we were kind of the fellas that were leaving last year, it was one of my, in the back of my head, I always kind of nearly wanted to come back, to finish finish off your career there. But look, these things sometimes pan out, they don't. But it's tough leaving. It wasn't hard. It wasn't an easy decision now, I must say.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've been institutionalized, and you would have supported Munster, and all of a sudden they're going, it's everything you know and love, and then all of a sudden it's out to fuck, and you're a bag of meat, as you said, when you get out to France. They're going, get out to fuck, up it on your boots, and
it's so much, and it's so true. I was getting to the stage, and I know some other fellas were talking about getting to the stage of nearly disliking it.
Yeah.
Because, you're at a crossroads, not to no one's fault, or not to the province's fault.
Yeah.
I was getting to that stage where you're there kind of going, fuck him, that kind of way, and I hated it. And it actually took me a while to kind of nearly get over that, and because I was like that. I was so institutionalized, and I was all about the lads, and I was all about the players I played with, because I was with them for that nearly 10 years or 9 or 10 years, the same players. Like there wasn't really many changes from that whole squad. So it was really, really tough leaving.
That's interesting you say that you hated the fact that you hated that moment. Like, it's the two sides of your brain. One is feeling betrayed. The other side is going, no, you're not betrayed, motherfucker. You're at a crossroads, know?
Yeah. It was more, when I actually kind of got to the stage of, I suppose, understanding it all, it was more so that I was, at that time, I was more cross with, I suppose, not with myself because of the injuries, but I was there kind of going, just the way it went. You always wish the way it goes better,
Yeah, of course. Jesus, yeah.
It's just a natural thing to do. It's you're wishing that it went better, or that you did a better showing of yourself, and why didn't it happen like this, and why didn't it do that, and then it just fucking turns on the province, you fuckers, it's all your fucking fault. You could have made me, but it's like, no, and it's no one's fault, and it was, it was the best fucking, Jesus, it was the best 10 years of my life, and they're still my best mates, you know what I mean, every single one of them, so.
Yeah, I knew there was, because I hosted a good few of these Heineken things, in bars prior to matches and stuff like that. Yeah. And a few of them in Dublin, but more so as soon as they heard my accent, the crowd, the PR company started going, we might send him south. We might send him down to the south.
There's no fucking way this guy is going to be doing it now for the next couple of years. Absolutely fucking not.
I took the piss because I played it in a TV show called Damo and Ivor. I played a character called Tarquin. Yeah. And it's like, and still to this day, people would shout it at me, and then they hear my actual accent, they go, "Oh, Jesus!" Oh, it's beautiful. You go, "What? Well," and they go, "Oh, are you not even from around? Not even from Leinster." So I did take the piss a couple of times. I know Reggie Corrigan was looking at me a few times. One I was hosting in, I think, D2. I think we were up in some balcony. I was like, "Say Reg Meister, Reg Aruna," and he was like, "Is everything okay?" I went, "Yeah, totally, yeah." And after that, they were like, "Send that cunt to Limerick or Cork," right? But it suited me much better anyway. So they'd paid him mileage, so it fucking suited me no end. But regardless of that, I still was, what the fuck do I care about fucking Leinster, ex-Leinster players? But you're down, you're chatting with, like Miko, some crack.
What's that now, Tom?
Yeah. For the audio listeners there, that which is everybody. Denis just managed. He's an unbelievably good impressionist. He just with his eyes, he just did Miko right there. He said to me one time, because he was who'd been, Leamy had been on the podcast, and then we did a show. We did one of these shows, and he went, "Great crack at the podcast." Leamy with his giant hands. They're just giant. Everything. His hands are just giant. And Miko piped up just before the gig, like he was like, "You did his podcast?" It's like, "Yeah, I did his podcast." And you could see him hurt. He was like, and in fairness to Liam, he goes, what the fuck would you have to say for yourself anyway? I might want him on at some stage, man. Jesus.
You won't. You won't. Believe me.
But I knew, like, because there was always with the wildness, because Golov would do the odd one, like, and stuff like that. And you can pick up on the wildness of lads and the group, and they talked about the wildness. There was fucking outlaws. And then I remember going out. Oh, I did one with Hoggy and John Kelly.
Oh yeah.
And there was free pints. I said, sure, I can't head back up now with free pints, because Johan says, listen, guys, we're heading away. There's an open bar for you guys. And the three of us looked, and the two boys text the wives, and I text my girlfriend at the time. I says, I'm not coming home anyway. So, but it was carnage.
Yeah.
And we ran into a load of Munster been playing that night over in Cork. Oh, for the love of it. But they were like outlaws. There was like, you fuckers don't resemble pro athletes. You're like wild fucking men, like, just.
So true, like it, but it's still like that, genuine. When especially when they get together, it's just it's wildness. It's just wild. Yeah, it's I remember. It was funny. It was Jesus. I don't know how many years ago it was, but we all got together, and it could have been 11:30, and the nightclub had just opened.
Right,
there's no one there, but all they saw was like 12 of us. It was like cattle running up the stairs. And I remember talking to the bounty. We were talking to him like a week or so after. He said it was like fucking wild animals were just let in the door. It was like, because we fell out of a bar, and it was like, where do we go now? So we'll fucking dare close. Everywhere was. It was like closing or finishing up, and it was like the nightclubs are open. It's like, right, go up there. We went up there. There was no one fucking there, but literally we were just like getting to the bar, and it was like, it was gas. It was just like that, like what you said there. It was like fucking, they opened the gates and wild animals just fucking wham, straight up to the bar, like. And it's because it's just, and it's still like that even to this day. Like, we, like, fucking hell, when we got Jesus, when only a few of us now, about 5 of us got to meet up at Christmas,
right?
Madness.
Yeah. But I'm convinced Golov is Tony Soprano. Like, there's something. Like, he came in a nod one evening. He's Mayor, did Quinny do that thing for you? I said, but the podcast. He goes, yeah, I fucking told him. Anyway, I said, he did. Good. And he's like looking around, like just like Tony Soprano.
Like, it's a bit like, yeah. Because I'll tell you, if Golov fucking asked me to do something, I'd be like that. Okay, no problem. But there is so many people like that, and it's like fucking same with O'Connell. If Connell rang you like that, listen, I need to be collected from Dublin to be dropped back in Limerick, you'd be like that. I'll be there in 2 hours. You'd literally be afraid of what he'd fucking do, or else he'd throw you a look, that serious look he throws. You're just there, it's just like, yeah, no problem, I'll do it for you. I think it's respect, especially with Golov. You just respect him because he's unbelievable crack as well.
Yeah.
Great fun. So but there is a bit like that. I'd say Claw's a bit like that. I was never really around.
Claw was there that day. Leamy was there, and Frankie was there, and the lads with him. We were there at we were on before the game and at halftime. We were watching the game, and what I found very interesting was I was shouting at the telly, assuming everybody else is going to be. It's in Mount Oval in Cork.
Oh yeah.
And we're shouting, and I was spotting things that. Ahead, of the fucking play, as you would assume somebody who's into rugby would. And Golov kind of leans forward, he goes, fuck, you know a fair bit about this? And I thought he was taking the piss. And next thing he was elbowing, listen to him now. I'm going, hold on to fuck. You were all paid to play this. I'm just watching this shit in the pub. Like, this is... Yeah. But it was funny. It was like, but that day, that's when Tony Soprano kicked in, because he'd stand there with Frankie one side, Claw the other, and Leamy. And next thing he nods at a fella. Oh, the bar manager. Here. Over he comes. He says, who's the lad behind the counter? I recognise him. He goes, he's Tony Ward, young fella. Jesus, a fine size, isn't he? And he's looking at him like a cow. He's like, yeah. Without asking any more, he just went, send him over to me. Like this, send him over to me. And the lad had to come out from behind the bar, like, and clean himself, straighten himself up and walk over. And he kind of, you could see him sizing him up going, coming along nicely.
Yeah.
Come on, right. Fuck off. Now, Like,
Well, Greg, give me a fucking pint of Guinness, will you? That's it now, you're dismissed.
but there could be no, imagine the fear in playing a bunch of fuckers like ye, like where it's just this fucking mob. It's, like.
It is. And it's quite intimidating. I like, especially when they all get together like that. Even for some of us walking into it, even if I met them going into a bar, like if I was late coming, you're like, oh fuck.
Really?
Yeah, you're like, oh god. You're there. You're already you're worried about what you're going to be handed for being late, even though you'd no idea they were going to be there. And then the abuse that's going to be thrown at you, and then you're behind them by about 10 points. It's like, oh fuck it, do I need to do this, or will I just go down the road for a pint? That kind of way. When you get in there and after the shot you'll be given, so you just kind of get up to their level. But it is because they're fucking big men still, like.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the thing that struck me was the horsing of pints that I went out that night with, like trying to keep in with Hoggy. Even Kelly was going, I wouldn't. Fucking after about the third pub. He was like frantic. Let's have one quick one here. Nobody around with any interest. Let's go. Yeah. And we're gone. Yeah.
Well, let's go. And he's fucking like that. Come on. He's fucking some lipping him, man. He's fucking the pace. It's like that. You're there kind of going, what the you nearly start fucking jittering around.
Yeah.
Will you fucking relax and sit down? He's like, oh, come on, let's go. And it's like, Jesus, man. Yeah, Hoggy's very much like that. Very much like that. But fuck it, he can put it away.
Oh, yeah.
The man his size, like.
And tell me this then, how, going from, like, full bore rugby, what is it like? Like, what's it like then transitioning to the real world? Is it like coming back from Vietnam, is it?
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Fuck it, it was some fucking struggle. I struggled big time with it. I came back, I'll tell you, I came back 3 years ago. I did a full year of minding my kids and fucking been told, like, couldn't get a job. Basically.
Really?
Could not get a job. Thought I was ahead of the game as well. Like, so my last 2 years in France, I actually dipped my toe. I was asked to do the academy where I was. So I did it. I said, you know what, this is a good opportunity for me to test out if I wanted to get into the coaching.
Yeah.
After the 2 years, I just fucking hated it. It just consumed my life.
Okay, yeah.
Especially at that, kind of every day. It was like every single day. You know what I mean? Compared to, say, the club, what I do up in Corkon, like that's brilliant. But like this, as a full-time job, I didn't like it at all. It just consumed me. So I came home. So 6 months before I was coming home, I throw out you throw out the CVs and you go and you're meeting people and doing this, that, and the other, telling them what you want or telling them what kind of jobs you'd like and all this kind of stuff. So I was flying back from France to meet people.
Yeah.
Just sit down with them. Like, for example, sit down with you. Yeah, look, I'd like to get into this. And you might say, yeah, well, I know this guy. You might sit down with them. So I did that. And then I did a full year of doing it and was just getting fucking no experience. I was just like, look, I remember going into one interview and I was just, at this stage, I was just so fucking pissed off.
Yeah.
And I'd say the uncle had me up for, I'd say I got 3 hours fucking sleep that night as well. And I was just like, you know what now? I fucking had it. And I just went to him. I said, look, I got the whole, we just, with the no experience and stuff, it's really, and I said, look, I'm going to stop you there. I said, I respect that. I said, I've heard it a lot now. I said, I went on about, look, I've a fucking truckload of life experience, but I was like, I said, where am I supposed to get experience?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I said, if you see my CV, you know I wouldn't have experience. So why are you calling me for? Are you just calling me for this interview?
Yeah.
Just to chat to me. You know what I mean? I said, at the end of the day, I said, look, I need someone to take a punt on me. I said, that's it. You know what I mean? I said, that's, what I can offer and stuff in terms of, how hard I'm going to work, et cetera, whatever. So, I would just, but obviously I got a fucking no after that.
I was going, this is the hero moment. Oh, no.
They were like, all right, okay, we respect that. We'll chat to you. Never.
Good look and thanks.
Yeah, I literally was there. Fuck fuckers. So, but to be fair, to the club, some fella just fucking took a punt, but that transition, I remember just starting off, I was just like, and I still at times I'm like, what? You're there kind of looking for a fucking purpose. You're just like,
yeah.
fuck, man. This is no joke. Like, making a living in the real world is like, we had no idea when we were playing. Like, no idea.
Oh, it's spoiled rotten. Spoiled rotten. Like.
Spoiled rotten. Like, we were handed clothes, told to when to wear it, what to eat. You know what I mean? When, and it's like, you have to be there. You have to be there. There's your fucking all your weights. There's your gym. There's your program. And, you know, everything. And it was like, and now you're like I'm in sales, and it's like you're on your own, and you have to fucking hit this target, and you fucking hit it however you need to hit it.
Yeah.
You're just like, so it took. I'm getting there. I know I'm much better than what I was, but it was definitely a really, really hard slog. And I think all the lads do find it a bit. It's very different because nothing as well. The problem as well is like nothing is going to replace that feeling of the ecstasy you feel when you run out on a field.
Of course.
Or winning a big game, or even winning big or small moments in a game, you know.
Like that smash in a scrum where you destroy somebody. Like
those things, like, you can never get that. I'm still trying to, I'm like, what the fuck? But you can't, I can never replace it. You know
might I suggest, because I heard you on the boys, because we've had a good chat, but I heard you on Potholes and Penguins, and I went, that's what Birch was talking about. This fucker has comedy. There's certain things you can't teach in comedy. You can't teach the timing and the descriptive things that people lay up for. There's 3 stages to every joke, and there's 3 descriptions. You hit all these markers. I went, has that fucker done stand up? I'm listening to going. And I went back. I went, has that fucker done stand-up? Did he do a stand-up course or something?
No, I fucking did not. But I fucking, there was times where I thought, well, 6 pints deep, I'm like that. Yeah. You know, like I said in that podcast, and they're like, I'd be doing fucking our coaches in Munster. I'd be fucking mimicking fucking Declan Kidney after.
You did a very good Declan Kidney one now, in fairness. Like,
fuck. But after then, you wake up the following morning, I'm like, oh, fuck. Fucking Egypt, man. Yeah, there was fucking, because I'd say people were like, this guy is hilarious, but he's fucking dead in the morning. You know, that kind of way. It's like, but I think that was my escape as well, though. You know what I mean? I loved but do you know what as well? Where we, like, in Munster, you had to be like that.
Yeah.
You had to be able for it. And, like, to be fair, you know, I met Decky since I've retired, and he loved it. You know, he's...
did he?
I did, like, you know, and even Tony McGann, like, I remember... this is a true story. Like, I remember I had a very, very good relationship with him, and I really respected him because he had dropped me, he'd played me, started me, he did it all. Like, so even coming to my last year and a half or something when he was dropping me, I went to his office, right? And in big bold writing, I wrote, and I sellotaped it right onto his face, and I wrote, "You're a cunt." Like, literally onto his desk. And I waited around. I took a photo of it like this, and I waited around for him to come into his office.
The head coach.
You know, like, you the fact did this. I'm outside there rolling laughing. You know what I mean? But we had because I knew he got it.
Yeah.
I knew, like, we had that, but that was the thing, and it was throughout the whole squad, because if you didn't fucking like it and you didn't take it, you were hammered it. Do you know that kind of? If you're slagging,
there was nobody going to go easy on you,
and they're not able for it. That's when they get the worst off. You know, if they're slagging him about, do you know what I mean? Or look at the size here, or whatever, and he's like that. Oh, fuck off! You're like, now you're getting it for the next 6 months. You know what I mean? Because you're not able for it. But if you kind of laugh it off and you get it, you know, it's brilliant. You know, the lads and stuff. But yeah, I think that's why it was so important. I think that's why I kind of just, because it's so intense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like you're institutionalized. You're in a massive bubble, and it's hugely intense. And I remember, you know, going back to just before I left, those last 2-3 years, that's when social media started. You know.
Yeah.
And it was just like everyone had a fucking pick, and then Munster weren't going well at the time. You know, when fucking Leinster beat them in the semi-final, and you know, it was just like I was now kind of going, oh my god, people now have fucking opinions.
Yeah,
people are fucking not afraid to say it, and I was just like, what the fuck?
That's what you can only, that transition period of social media coming on board, because you came from, you know, the relative old school where things were good and fun, but it was contained. Then all of a sudden, like you said, every fucker talking about. Now, these days you just want to live in a cave and then step out of said cave, train, and go back into the fucking cave again.
Yeah, literally, and that's what it nearly came to. I remember, genuinely, I remember if a game didn't go well, I'd be afraid to walk out my door.
Stop.
I'd be just like, you'd have some prick kind of going, what the fuck are you doing last night? You're there kind of going, and half me were there kind of going, I want to take his head off. I'd be like that. What the fuck do you say to me? Then, you know, do you think I'm doing it on fucking purpose? You can't say anything. You know what I mean? I think that was the hardest thing. You're there kind of going, what do? You just fucking, you're there kind of going, yeah, okay. No, some lads were way better at taking it than I was, but I was nearly taking it personally.
Yeah, of course. Like, yeah, but you would.
I think as well is because it was my home. It's fucking Munster, man. It's my home fucking province.
Yeah.
And then it's the fellas I played with. I had such respect for them, and I had such love for them, and such love for the province. And I was like, I can't. It was like, you should never have a fucking bad game. You know, that was going through my head. It was like, you shouldn't be doing this, or you should never have a bad game, or you shouldn't be, you know, fucking either thrown badly or something like that. And it was just, it kind of got too much for me then, you know what I mean? It was and I think that's why I was doing those, fucking having the crack with other fellas and just thinking, it was just I suppose it was just helping me through it, you know, that kind of way.
Well, I can only imagine too, because even I think that way about Munster still, but when you listen to other like British podcasts where they talk about like lads who are just happy to be, you know, fucking journeymen in clubs, it still kind of shocks me going, you're happy with that? Are you fucking happy with that lot? Like, you know what I mean? That you don't fucking absolutely spit your guts. I suppose from the other side of it, then it is like, yeah, grand, it's just a game. That's just how fellas do think, like.
Yeah, it is. But do you know, it was mad. It was only when I fully realised it, and I kind of, because you know when you're in it, in the Munster whole thing, it's like, yes, it is, and you can see how true it, you know, how real it is that, yes, it's so much to me, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's when you move away and you're playing with another team, you're there, that starts to creep in. You're there,
right?
Like, you know, well, if I have a bad game, you know,
there's no shame, like,
yeah, you know, and it was in a way, it was a bit of a relief for me.
Yeah. The mother won't be watching this one. It's grand.
Yeah, it's all right. News away from home. You're like that. Fuck it, I let you take up smoking on the bus. But that's what they were like. They were like, yeah, fuck it. You know, we were never going to win. And it's like, all right, okay, fuck it, pass me a fag. You know, let's have a drink. Yeah, and it was like there was a fucking. I was like, this is unbelievable. I was there saying, this is what I need. You know, but that's true. Like they just fucking have a beer and a fag in the back of the bus on the way home.
I thought that was only a myth, and Birch fucking said the same thing. He goes, he says, and think I'd stop him? He says, oh fuck no.
Fucking no. Like yeah.
Because that was his notion. He said at first day of coaching this crowd, what was he coaching? Some fucking mountain men, he was saying. Grenoble. He said, they were mighty crack. He said, but fucking pure mountainy bastards. He says, all he wanted to do was maul to the fucking cow sheds, like. Yeah. But he fucking wanted to, like, during training, somebody set up a fucking buffet table with a drop of wine and pecks of fags.
Yeah.
And lads were smoking it during training. And he went, oh man, the fuck?
That's so true. Even in Agen, I was there, and there was, I swear down before our pitch sessions, some 6 of the lads would be out having a fag with the I was like kind of going, what the fuck? You know? And it's just like, you know what, fuck ye. You know, you know, I'm not going to fucking war with you. You know, this freak having a fag.
Yeah, you can see why you wouldn't, like, yeah.
So, but it was just, but it's so true. You never changed them. But they were like, "What do you mean? What's wrong with it? I have a coffee and a fag before every fucking session." you're like,
I don't do grand. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm a fucking pro. You're like, Christ almighty. But it's just their way of doing things, man. It's just their way of doing. But I must say, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that kind of, I suppose, laid backness.
Have you taken up any hobbies since though? Because you sound like you'd fucking lash the arse off of something if you went at it. Like, you know what I mean? You'd be fucking obsessive about it. Like, because I've turned to a complete freak for barbecuing. Like, long smoke. Oh, and like I'm about to start a fucking yoke where I'm actually teaching people live to teach people. I'm building a yoke out the back with pallets and everything. Now I have a decent barbecue set up, but I'll be teaching companies live teaching fucking people how to cook a steak. So they'll all be sent out the steaks and whatnot in the pack. Yeah. And another comedian, he'll be in his place in Dublin teaching how to do the salads and all that kind of shit. And then I'll be teaching them. But yeah, I've turned into a complete freak when it comes to fucking barbecuing and shit. Like
I haven't really. I've gotten into like I'm a bit like that with coffee. I love kind of I have coffee now, and I'm very particular about my coffee. Same with wine, but that's from France. I love different types of wine, and I got into the wine very much so in France. And I'm the same now with different IPAs and beers.
Oh yeah, lovely.
At the very start when you were saying that, my wife got me for Christmas one of these fucking literally just a massive case of different fucking beers. 30-something beers, and I literally took photos and tasted them. I remember sending them on to John so I'd have about 7. I'd have 7 of them, and I go through it, like the taste and all this kind of, because he enjoys it too. So I kind of got into that a small bit, but like it's more so for a bit of fun in the evening time. But I'm a bit like I find it with my work. I'm like, since I'm now in it, it's just this my mentality again. It's like I'm there kind of going, I don't know what it is. It's like it's the same as what I had in rugby. It's like no one fucking expects me to do well at this.
Yeah, the dog comes out like,
some fucking casual. Every prick in Cork doesn't expect me to be good at this, and I'm just, you know what I mean? And I have that mindset.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I was like, you're there, kind of looking at them all, and I'm looking around the room, and I go into the room, and I'm like, you fucking no idea. I'm coming at you, that kind of way, like literally, and they're probably looking at me, kind of going, "This fucking idiot." Has no fucking degree, nothing. Like, and he thinks he's going to fucking. But I'm like, yeah, well, we'll fucking see, And I just think it's that I'm a bit like that at work, and now my kind of new trying to build a career for myself. So I'm like, everything goes back to rugby.
Yeah.
And it's like, right, I'm now in the academy. How hard are you going to, and that's that's where my mindset is. So it's I'm a bit like that for my work, because now it's more important. Now I have 2 kids and a wife, so that's my focus. You know what I mean? And then my focus then is that stupid mindset of fucking trying to keep it wrong. Yeah.
I know, but it's a thing you do have to. Like, do you find yourself talking to yourself like going, "Get up to fuck now"? There's almost people, they joke about people fat shaming themselves to get themselves in shape. Get the fuck to the gym now. Yeah. I do the same thing, going, "You're a lazy cunt. Get fucking working now. Get working. That telly does not need to be watched. Get after it." Like,
Yeah, no, 100%. But it's fucking hard to keep at it.
I
like, even like fucking with the weight, like I fucking first lockdown, I was there, right? I need to fucking train, because I gotta throw my fucking children into bed. I was there. I gotta go fucking mental. So I started fucking running, like, and I'm not fucking built for the road at all. Literally, I did 3 months of it. Lost nearly 2 stone. My body started aching. Like, literally, my body started to break down. I was
doesn't hate running.
Yeah, literally, I said, my body just crumbled, and I piled it all back on. I literally every fucking ounce of it, piled it all back on. But I'm like that now. It was only yesterday I was there. You fucking pig! I got up on the scales. I was there. You're on fucking 111 again. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Seriously, have you fucking no willpower? You're all fucking talking about doing this, and you're fucking never doing. You're fucking lazy. You don't fucking run. Will you? You don't have to fucking run. You just have to watch what you're fucking eating. And but that's what I'm at the moment. Like, it's a fucking, oh man, it's just but I do have those moments where you're just like, it's always like, come on, prove to, it's always fucking.
Yeah.
Just that fucking mindset.
I think there's a level of health in it too, because people talk about, mindfulness, and you should be a whoosha. I think there's a place for aggression too. Like, sometimes to get yourself a kick in the hole, like, and that competitive edge too. Like, I don't give one fuck what other big name comedians on the lineup with me. I'm going after his laughs. I don't give a fuck. And if I leave nothing in the room, I'll sit at the back with the promoter going, I told you shouldn't have put me on the same lineup as him. I've one coming up in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, and I'm going to crush so fucking hard. It's not even fucking funny, like, because. But you just have to go at it like a bull at a fucking gate, don't you?
Yeah, no, it is. Like I even do, even with small fucking things. I now every weekend I go into the sea. Every fucking weekend since Christmas. I used to do it very in and out, kind of before Christmas. Since Christmas, then I get in every Saturday or Sunday into the sea, and I'm like that going in there, like. Don't fucking squeal or go fucking roar. I'm like that. Don't this literally while I'm walking in. I'm like, this is a fucking challenge here. You're fucking, you know. But after I'm like, what the fuck? You're fucking nuts, man.
No,
literally arguing with myself going into the sea. Are you gonna fucking scream or are you just gonna breathe through this? This is a fucking challenge. You know, that kind of way. I'm there kind of going, you come out of it and I feel like $1 million, but you're there kind of going, am I fucking like, is everyone fucking like thinking like me or
a lot of the people that listen to this podcast they're all a bit fucking warped in the head. I've weeded out all the weak ones over the last 3 years. So we've got nothing but fucking absolute psychos listening to this.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
They're all like that. What the fuck?
If you ask me, it's a sign of fucking health. It'll drive you on. So, in closing, I think we can. We're signing you up to stand-up comedy anyway. Open mic, yeah.
Fuck that.
I'm telling you now. I'm telling you, you have the point. You hit the pointers, the right things. And if you want to find a release,
fucking hell.
Try standing backstage in the Opera House in a full house, and it's only you and a 30-foot walk to a fucking microphone. And you're going, all right, time to nut up or shut up. And it's that moment when you're standing by the sea going, don't you squeal, you bitch. Don't you squeal. And it's the same thing. It's the same fucking thing. But when you pull it off.
Yes.
Yeah, that's when because you know the payoff is there, like, but you would be questioning yourself going, I'm fucking wrong in the head for doing this shit. Like, so I don't know. I think we'd set you up, get you on an open mic down in Cork.
I don't know about that now, Tom.
Might be something to look towards. I'm going to send you on a couple of links, and I guarantee your brain will go, I could fucking do that. I guarantee I'll have you wired by the time everything opens back up again. Denis Fogarty would be he'd be on stage down in Cork.
Oh fuck!
I can see your brain thinking about it now. Going,
I'm there, kind of going, don't fucking challenge me, Tom. Don't fucking do it to me.
I'm a sick fucker.
Yeah. You'll be a sorry boy if I get on the scene. There's not enough fucking space for those tip lads now. So, no.
This is what's needed. We need more fucking psychopaths. People are getting frightened of me trying to eat the fucking microphone in front of them.
Oh, fuck it.
Denis Fogarty, this has been a fucking tonic. Thank you very, very much. This has been a joy.
No problem. I'm delighted to do it. I'm delighted.
And my thanks again to Denis. What an absolute fucking legend. I think you can all agree. Now, we will be getting him, whether he knows it or not. And I think I'm after planting a seed. He is going to do stand-up comedy. I could see it. I was vexing him by giving him a challenge. And a fella like that can't back down from a challenge. I have a funny feeling you get him to do 5 minutes in city limits when now everything opens back up again. That's the podcast, everybody. Thank you all very much for listening. Also, thank you very much to the Patreons. Fair fucking lady. God bless you. You know the usual crack. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, rate and review and give me a screenshot of your review, because I don't always get an email to tell me that somebody's after reviewing it. And you could be listening on any other format of Apple Podcasts. So, screenshot it, tag me in it, send it to me. You know the crack. A couple of great ones come in last week. I will be doing prizes. Anne-Marie finally got her prizes. Anne-Marie, she won the best... No, she actually won the cheesecake. She won the cheesecake championship. We had a cheesecake championship, cheesecake off on Patreon a while back. So she finally got her presents the other day. So I do come true on these things. Sharon won best comment of 2021 or 20. She won the Christmas one. She got some merch sent over to her there. So there you go. There's a segue into the merch shop. Have a look down in the show notes below. The description of this show. Go have a look. You'll see the links if you want to support it. Other than that, leave a nice review. a nice 5-star rating, and I'll give you a big old virtual kiss out the back end of it. Follow me on all the usual platforms. You know the crack. Tom O'Mahony Comedy. You'll find it anywhere Buckshot Podcast, so you can scroll back through and have a gander at all the faces of the people I've interviewed down through the years. You'll see the number. Scroll back, find it, listen to it, enjoy it, roll it up, hand it to Nanny from a safe distance. Now, thank you all very much for listening. I will catch you again on Monday. Mind yourselves over the weekends, lads. Good luck, God bless, goodbye.